Good evening. My name is Abdul Aziz from Starset-Solutions, and I'm taking this small video for orientation and introductory section to all of our workshops. I'm taking this session so that you understand better about the course and about the workshop. And aside from that, I also want you to understand if this course is a good fit for you. Now, I want to thank all of you guys who have shown your interest in participating and shown your interest in joining the group. Even if you have not registered yet, I'm still grateful that you wanted to take the opportunity to try and learn stuff. Now, from this, we'll shift on to the class itself. This class or this program explicitly is not motivational, it is not passive, it is not a shortcut to success. This is not the type of class where you will sit and just consume content. This is not the type of class where you will just watch videos, get assignments, and then complete it for a certificate. This is not our goal with the workshop, and this is not what we are expecting you guys to do either. This is a thinking based and an effort driven program in which you'll have to actively participate, show some self reflection, and also you'll have some kind of productive discomfort as well. As long as you are in your comfort zone, you will never actually try to make any efforts to grow. As long as you still stay within that sphere of comfort, you will never actually get out of it and never try things that are new to you. So this is the goal with the workshop. You will experience some productive discomfort, and that is good for you. Now, what is the real problem with learning today and why we have started this course in the first place? The real problem with the students today, or most people who are trying to get into the industries now, is that they often come from schools and education systems where memorization is key. They do not actually teach you how to apply concepts, they do not teach you how to understand and how to apply critical thinking. They just teach you memorization, because that is what is essentially in exams. You go to an exam, you write down your theory, you just get your marks, and that is how it usually works. But in real industries, that is not what you need. What you will need over there is critical thinking, real skills, and communication on a level where you can communicate with your teammates and effectively execute your programs or your products. Now, the issue that we have is not laziness or a lack of intelligence. The issue is deep rooted within the education system itself. If it does not teach you how to think this way, if it does not teach you how to act this way, and how your overall learning will affect your academic life later or your professional life later, then you will not put any efforts into learning it in the first place, because education systems prioritize memorization over thinking, and that is where your gap will be shown in real industries. Structured thinking is the gap. The structured thinking that you lack now will present itself in the future when you're working in a professional environment. When you are thinking about something and you're trying to explain it to someone, you need to have a structured way so that you can understand it as clearly as the person that you're trying to explain it to. Now, we'll talk about what the program is and what skills you will learn and how you will navigate it. The program is not focused on any confident tricks or any surface level communication. You might see a lot of people trying to teach you courses and sell you some lessons about communication, where they'll teach you how to communicate in 5 days, how to communicate in 50 days. The point of this class is not that. The point of this class is not to teach you any hacks, any confidence boosting skills, or any tips and tricks on that. This program is designed specifically for building a framework for thinking. Thinking is the first step that you have for effective communication. Most people just think that as long as I can talk properly, as long as I can form my sentences properly, I can communicate my thoughts properly. But that is a false narrative that has been painted all of this time. What you actually need to have clear communication is clear thinking. Clear thinking will lead to natural communication improvement, and it will also lead to confidence in your words. And the confidence comes from the clarity that you have in your head, not from your personality. You might see a lot of people who have an outgoing personality and they can communicate very well compared to how you can do it. That is not because their personality is different, that is because they are confident in what they are talking about. So that is the thing that you need. You don't need confidence per se in communication, you need confidence in the thoughts you have and the things you are trying to explain itself. The fundamentals that you will learn in this communication class will apply across various domains throughout your life. Now, let's talk about communication as a whole. In our understanding, communication is divided into three stages. The first stage is thought, the second stage is structure, and the third one is expression. Most people make the mistake of focusing only on expression, the speaking part, and that is what they try to improve, and that is why they still lack, even though they do some efforts in that. Clear understanding of your subject will lead to clear communication of that subject. Problems originate in unclear thinking and weak structure. If the problem that you have in your head is just thinking about this one specific idea or this one specific statement that you want to tell someone, you need to have it as clear as you can in your head first, and then form a structure for it. You have to form a structure of thought, and then you have to express it. So you have some clarity in the thought that you have, then you will have overall clarity in your communication. Good structure that you have after the thought process, the structure, if that is good as well, then it will help your ideas flow from the thinking to the expression stage. Now, aside from the communication parts, we'll also be covering some other topics in our courses, that will be hackathons and startups. Some of you might know about these, some of you might not know, and that is why we are introducing this as of right now. Hackathons would be a public coding event or a public problem solving event where people or companies will organize events and invite people to come there and solve the problems. Now, we'll delve into this a bit deeper in the actual lessons, but for now, you will need to understand why this is essential in the course. Hackathons test teamwork and decision making skills under pressure. You'll have to work with a variety of people under a variety of different pressure and time constraints while achieving some sort of goal. And that is where your teamwork, your communication, and your ability to work with other people using your skill set becomes very apparent. So that is why we are also trying to cover these topics. Aside from that, we all know about startups, and through some narrative painted by social media or other sources, we might think it is a it's a kind of thing where you can either go high or you can go the lowest as well. That is not the case. Startups are very complicated, and there are a lot of things to navigate through before trying to start one, and that is what we will be going through throughout this whole process. Now, we also are covering the startup wall apart because it is essential for you to understand that all of these environments, the hackathons, the startups, teamwork, communication, and all of that, it will build some real world readiness in you. You, as students or people who are not in the real world environments, do not really have the readiness for these concepts as of right now or just yet. So that is why we want to prepare you for this topic, so that in the future, if you do decide to delve into some, you will be ready for it. And you also need to understand that participating in such events or in such organizations will accelerate your learning process. Now, I'll close off this overall video with a small paragraph. What I want to tell you is that you don't need any prior experience to join the classes or learn something here. You don't need to have perfection in all of the things that you are trying to learn here. What you need is just honest effort. Honest effort is the only mandatory thing that we have right now. As long as you put in your honest effort and be consistent with it, that will mean more than talent. As long as you're consistent and try to learn, try to improve with self reflection and communicate your thoughts and your issues with us, I am sure that you will learn a great deal here. Success does not mean that I am able to achieve this now or I am able to do this now. It means you have the clarity and the ability to start independently. It means that you will have the ability to look at a problem and try to find a solution for it on your own instead of being frozen there. Now, the next session that I will be in will cover the fundamentals of thinking and structuring ideas. But for now, thank you.